Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. I'm TCaptainX. Season 4 for Call of Duty Warzone here. We're going to be talking about the patch notes today and talking about things like the new Kar98 that is returning, a lot of different buffs and nerfs to different guns, so kind of going over what is the new meta and some other new features coming to Warzone here. So, of course, we're going to have a new battle pass here. I do want to point out 2 new guns, the Kar98 and then also a new SMG coming. You don't have to buy the battle pass to unlock these. You just have to level up and get those tokens unlocked to unlock those guns here, but they seem to be pretty early on, so that should be pretty good here. With Battle Royale here, we are increasing the player count from 100 to 120, so it should be a little bit more hectic, more gunfights and engagements. They go in depth here talking about why they did this, but they also mentioned that they're going to be decreasing things like the Gulag tokens, so they're trying to make it feel more like a traditional Battle Royale, meaning that, you can't just run around like a madman and just know that you're going to be able to respawn and keep going to the Gulag over and over and over. It seems like we are getting a decent amount of updates for the Urzikstan map, which is good because Urzikstan and Battle Royale has kind of been neglected. So there are, the bunkers now have alternative exits along with new rewards in those bunkers. Getting 4 new Gulag layouts for when you do go to the Gulag. They are also adding buyback royale. This was from old Warzone 1. This is was buybacks. Basically, as long as you have $4,500, you get to keep respawning. So it seems like it's only going to be for solos right now, but this mode was a lot of fun. It's kind of more of a resurgence type mode, but this is a kind of an old fan favorite. The playlist for this week is as follows. Got buyback solos, ranked trios, plunder quads, battle royale duos, trios, and quads. And then resurgence is going to be rotation for all 4 modes. Now, Ashika is gone, done, and over with. So it will be a little bit interesting to see what this rotation exactly looks like and how often Rebirth is going to be in the mix. There's also going to be a new reward section for Warzone here. Basically just a bunch of different challenges that you can do. You can get just different types of camos, rewards, things like that. Now, something they talked about a while ago, but we are just now getting it, is you're going to be able to steal a champion's quest or a nuke contract. So if another team is doing a nuke and they die and wipe and they drop the contract or drop the elements, you're going to be able to pick it up and start where they left off, it sounds like. So that will be very interesting to see how that plays out. And this is going to be in all modes, so Rebirth and also Big Map. For Urzikstan only, they are adding tac sprint boots, and these you can get from bunkers. This gives you unlimited tac sprint. Unfortunately, only going to be in Urzikstan. Would love to see something like this introduced into Resurgence as well, but we'll just have to see how that plays out. Specialists, they are adding specialists to the buy station, where you can get it for $30,000. If you don't know, Specialist gives you every single perk in the game. It is extremely strong to have. The Bunker Buster seems like it is now coming to other modes and other maps. Utility Box coming to all the other modes. There is going to have loot hot zones where certain zones will be demonstrated on I guess they're just going to be discovered. They're not going to be labeled on the TAC map, but they're just going to have more loot than usual there. For Big Map, there's going to be a runaway train event. There's a 10% chance that at the this is an endgame event where basically the safe zone will follow the train. So it's going to be like a very different end zone. Seems like it could be pretty interesting. Also a new vehicle, the Polaris Razor. So kind of like a side-by-side type vehicle, probably like a promotion they're doing with Polaris. So new vehicle to look for in the mode as well. Hopefully it's kind of fast. Big adjustment to ground loot weapons is coming, which is good because the ground loot was not that great the last season. Gas mask, big change to gas mask. They are now going to have a manual, automatic, and semi-automatic setting for putting it on. So it says they're adding a new keybind where you can basically hit this new keybind, whatever it's gonna, I'm not sure what it'll be set to, but you'll be able to hit that and automatically from your inventory put the gas mask on and off. Personally, I'll probably want to play with manual, and I would just rather stow it and then put it on very quickly when I need to. So I think this is a good change overall, although I still wish they would just get rid of that annoying kind of haze that it has when you put the gas mask on. Changes to the buy station. When you buy loot, that loot's going to drop out from behind you now. That way it doesn't get caught and kind of like lost in front in the buy station. More changes coming to Urzikstan. They're making that first circle have 2 minutes instead of 1. This way it kind of gives more people to loot since there is going to be a larger player count. You're going to respawn with new guns coming from the Gulag. Gulag loadouts are also getting updated as well. Lots of loot changes coming to Urzikstan. Some of the important things is they are decreasing things like redeploy packs, decreasing Gulag tokens, basically trying to make it feel like a more traditional battle royale, which I think is a good thing. A lot of updates to the buy station as well. Basically some changes in prices and how much is going to be there. Nothing major here from what I saw, besides the fact that you can buy Gulag tokens and you can also buy specialists for $30,000. Also, this is just for rebirths. There are new late game circles, which I'm kind of unfortunate they're not doing this for Urzikstan as well, because from what I understand, Urzikstan has like the same endgame circles almost every game. So, but good for us rebirth players. All right, new weapons. So we have 2 new weapons coming this season. We have a SMG, the Superi 46. Basically, it sounds like this is going to be a kind of do-it-all type weapon, because it says exceptionally adaptable, can be modified to excel in most combat. So you can probably make it a mobility gun or make it a lower recoil sniper support type gun and anywhere in between. And then the good old Kar98 is finally back, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, I can tell you, it will one-shot. It will one-shot headshot up to 63 meters without any attachments. So with attachments, you know, I'd imagine be able to get up to maybe like 70, 80. Don't know exactly what the bullet velocity will be like, but can confirm it is a one-shot headshot. We have several new aftermarket parts coming as well. We've got a Jack Harbinger kit, which makes the M4 into a 50 cal conversion. That one's going to be very interesting. Jack Gunslinger makes the Basilisk handgun from MW2 into a faster shooting gun that also has a little bit more ammo. Be an interesting one as well. The Jack Volk turns the KV inhibitor sniper into a 2-round burst. Also very interesting. Jack Scimitar kit turns the FJX Horus SMG into a more accurate, kind of better recoil type gun. FJX Horus was kind of not that great. It also did get a buff in today's update, so could turn this into like a good sniper support type gun. Jack Thumper. This turns the grenade launcher from MW3 into a improved long barrel launcher that fires them at higher velocities and distances. This one is going to be interesting to say the least. The Jack Requiem. So we have another MW2 gun, the Kastov 762, aka the AK-47, turns it into a lower recoil, completely eliminates vertical recoil. The Jack Decimator turns the Lockman Shroud SMG, that is the Burst MP5 from MW2, but it turns it into a full auto. So kind of basically makes it like a Lockman sub. Again, I don't know why they just buffed the Lockman sub, but we'll see how it is. And then the Jack Intimidator, we have the Renetti handgun, which turns into a single shot weapon, but a harder hitting gun. All right, now talking about buffs in nerfs. The BP50 got a hard kind of movement and handling nerf. So overall movement speeds, handling decrease, but also specifically to that aftermarket kit that kind of turned it into an SMG, big nerfs to its mobility. Will probably still be a pretty good gun overall, but probably not going to now be quite as competitive in like S tier meta. It was probably like a top 3, top 4 close range gun before this though. The BAL 27, which was the new AR from last season, is getting a minor buff, basically just a little bit better at range and some small multiplier buffs to its extremities. I doubt this will become meta. I think it is still going to be just not that good because its recoil isn't that great. Holger 556 getting a buff to its range and also a buff to its leg damage. I think the Holger 556 was already very underrated, so I think this will definitely be in the competition for one of the best assault rifles in the game. SVA 545 receiving a minor nerf. Its mid-range damage is getting nerfed and its headshot multiplier is getting decreased. Probably will still be a great no recoil option when you run it in that burst mode, but maybe just a little bit slower TTKs than before. MCW, they keep giving tiny buffs to the MCW. They're buffing its long range damage. We'll have to see if this changes the TTK at long range. The MCW might finally have a spot in the meta. MCW, I think, has kind of been fringe. It's just its TTKs are a little bit too slow despite having very low recoil. MTZ 556 got buffs, which I'm surprised by this because I think the MTZ was already probably one of the best ARs overall. So a range buff and also a headshot multiplier increase. Not a huge buff, but it will be noticeable probably. Kastov 762, we have a few MW2 guns getting buffed finally. This gun is getting a nice buff to its range and also several multipliers for its damage. So 762 might honestly maybe be a decent mid-range gun, maybe on resurgence probably. The Chimera, which was a great sniper support gun back in Warzone 2, is also getting a buff to its range and multipliers. And then the ISO Hemlock is getting pretty good damage buffs at its mid and far ranges. So this, I mean, we'll have to see. If this changes the TTK, the Hemlock could come back in the argument, but we'll have to see. And by the way, if you're new here and you don't know about my website, ggs.ai, that's ggs.ai, We will 100% be putting all of this, what the meta is, up on that website within a few hours of this update once it is fully live. Next, talking about SMGs, the AMR9 got a very nice buff. Its close range damage got buffed. Its range got nerfed though, but then its mid-range damage got buffed. And there's also a new damage range at long range. So basically, I think the AMR9 will probably have a much more competitive time to kill now, but not that good of range, which I think is probably a fair balance. So absolutely the AMR9 might sneak back into the meta here. We will have to see. FJX Horse getting a ton of changes here. Basically, in short, they're buffing the damage and they're buffing the range and they're buffing the recoil. And this gun had a lot of recoil before. So this might be a really good close range option depending on if this changes the TTK much. Rival 9, just a tiny nerf to its bullet velocity, but they are buffing the fire rate of the conversion kit by quite a lot. And this one is going to be very interesting. This gun actually was a little bit underrated, this conversion kit. It makes it like an kind of like a burst style weapon, but it's automatic still. This honestly might become very good. So watch out for that Rival 9 conversion kit. Striker 9 is getting a small nerf. So its long range damage is getting nerfed. It's close, its damage range a nerf by about 1 meter, and then its headshot multiplier decreased just slightly. I think Striker 9 overall still going to be a top meta option for SMGs, but probably just a not quite as good at range now. So maybe not gonna run that as like a sniper support. WSP9 also getting a very small nerf. Basically, they're nerfing its range across the board, and then a very small decrease to its arm and hand shot. So if you're hitting away from the body, again, overall, WSP9 still going to be a meta option, but just a very small nerf it's receiving. DG58 LMG, which has been the most popular long-range gun this option this season, is getting a nerf headshot multiplier decrease and a bullet velocity decrease. I think this will still be a great option, especially on Urzikstan still because of how low recoil it is, but probably not going to be quite as dominant and open up some ARs, especially for Resurgence. Holger 26 LMG, also a small headshot multiplier buff. This was an underrated gun for sure, so we might start to see people use this over the DG potentially as well. And then just a very small nerf to the XRK Stalker Sniper. The neck damage is getting decreased. So with all of these changes, I think the Kar98, especially on Resurgence, is going to be hands down the best sniper, given that it should be a one shot up to about 63 meters at least. We'll have to see the bullet velocity and things like that, but Kar98 is going to be dominating probably. Also here, they make a note here about Battle Royale and ranked play. They are basically saying here that they are going to bring ranked to Big Map Battle Royale, but they're basically working on some things in the meantime. They don't know when that's going to be. They're not giving us a date, but they are confirming that World Series of Warzone will be on the Big Map Urzikstan. This is more Resurgence rewards here. So if you were playing ranked Resurgence, you will reset your ranks here. So if you were anything above Diamond, you will, I believe, reset down to Diamond. I can't remember how exactly it works if you are a little bit lower than Diamond. I think you reset a minimum 1 or 2 ranks. But whatever your reward, there are going to be new rewards. Iridescent camo looks pretty cool, not going to lie. They are also making a few adjustments. They are going to prioritize the win more. So winning teams will now get 125 SR instead of 100. So just prioritizing that. And then the iridescent deployment fees are being reduced slightly just by 5 SR. Basically, they're just saying we're trying to make it so you have to focus on winning a little bit more instead of just stacking for kills. Got a few UI adjustments. They are adding more match stats for the after action report, which is nice. This is a setting that I think is going to be interesting. They're adding it so that you can parachute in third person. So I think that'll be nice because you'll be able to see more around you and maybe see if people are flying right behind you as well. Adding more squad widget info. So this is like where it's telling your teammates, how many plates do you have? How much money do you have? Do you have a gas mask? Do you have a kill streak? You'll be able to know all that just by looking at your UI in the bottom left and seeing what your teammates have. Also adding a better contract timer in a bar that will show you how much time is left on your contract. Otherwise here, just a few random bug fixes here, nothing major that I saw here, and that is going to be it. So in the matter of hopefully within like an hour or two, maybe even less after the update goes live, we will be updating our website, ggs.ai, and we will be ranking all of the top guns by our AI algorithm that we've created. We just need a little bit of time once the update goes live to get the new data into the website and then let the algorithm kind of churn out whatever it says is going to be meta. So again, that is ggs.ai for you guys to see that. Otherwise, we'll be going live here soon, and thanks for watching. See you in the next one.